Hello, video request from Arturo William. He goes, video request moving to Denver. What would be the best strategy to move out to Denver? How much savings do you think is necessary? What are the best budget-minded areas of town to live in? Do you prefer Boulder to Denver? Thanks. Well, that's a really open-ended question. You didn't provide me any information about yourself. But I'll do the video request anyways, because that's what I like. I do video requests. So, moving to Denver. What's the best strategy to move to Denver? Okay. What you should do is don't be a fucking pussy, Arturo. Load the car yourself. Don't hire somebody to do it. Do it yourself, man. You know, and if you have back problems, then just lift with your legs. You'll burn some calories that way. You'll get rid of that beer gut. Okay. Now, if the car fills up, go out and get a trailer, a U-Haul trailer, and put the rest of your stuff in that U-Haul trailer. Now, if you have too much stuff, then rent a U-Haul truck and tow your car behind it. And then you drive out here. You might want to try to get a job first before you move out here. If you're totally like basic dude, like a kid, just drive your car out and all your stuff you have in your car. Leave all your stuff at home with your parents or sell it. Get rid of it. Don't bring anything out with you. Live in your car in Denver. So come out in the springtime because it's really cold in the winter. You do not want to live here in the wintertime. Trust me. Unless you have some kick-ass setup in your car where you can have a heater pumping all the time, like some kind of generator that's outside in your rocket box or something. Yeah, and then rent a apartment. Some of the cheap parts of town are going to be Commerce City, northeastern part of Denver, Commerce City, or Aurora type area. But the best place to Denver to live is like some place like Golden, western Denver, because you're close to the mountains. And if you want to go skiing, you don't have to go through traffic. If you want to go hiking or mountain biking, you don't have to go through traffic. The mountains are right there. Way better. But I'm sure the rent is more. But I think it's better to have a tiny little one-room apartment or be a roommate in some house near the mountains than have a bigger place out in bumfuck nowhere. But it just depends on what you do, you know. So let's see here. How much saving do you think is necessary? It depends on how frugal you are. If you're really good at eating just canned vegetables and fruit, you could come out with $500 and park your car someplace and just get a job at a temp agency, which will keep you afloat until you get an actual full-time job, and then you're going and you're flying. So you don't need that much savings if you're a strong, disciplined person who doesn't spend money. What are the best budget-minded areas of town? Yeah, Aurora and Commerce City. Do you prefer Boulder to Denver? Yes, I prefer Boulder to Denver. Growing up, I always looked at Boulder like it's the ghetto, like it's the third world. You go down there and you see like raggedy, homeless-looking people stumbling around, and the roads aren't as maintained, and houses are dilapidated, and it's this big city. It's a grid, kind of on a grid system, so it freaks Europeans out who are used to these narrow, twisty roads. It's kind of boring, but the mountains are right there. Great view of the mountains, and it's really spread out too. The traffic's not that bad in Denver compared to other places. But Boulder's way better. Boulder is more expensive for rent, but you know, if you I don't know, if you budget yourself in other ways, but I think you get more money. I think the local Walmart opened up in Boulder, and their starting pay was $13.75 an hour. So you know, the pay that you get does offset the extra living expenses. But a lot of people don't like Boulder. I think especially people from Colorado Springs. I've heard people mention stuff like walking around, and I think we were at the Garden of the Gods or something, and my mom and her brother and nephew and stuff, and where are you from? Boulder? And he's like, oh my God, I pity you. Like, people have some kind of, Boulder's, a lot of Colorado is a red state, a lot of like fundamentalist Christian, like right-wing Republican types. So Boulder's kind of like an oasis, kind of like Austin is an oasis in Texas. So people like to have a problem with Boulder. Like there's lots of like freaky people, you know, like Buddhists and hippies and yuppies and stuff. I think they're just jealous. But I would never live in Boulder. I would live somewhere, anywhere else in the world. I mean, in Denver. Never want to live in Denver. My mom was thinking about moving to Denver. I was like, what the fuck? No way. There's no way you move to Denver. You crazy? Because she's like, yeah, I could get a bigger house there. It's like, what the fuck? No. Yeah, so Boulder's where it's at, man, because it's a town, you know. I like towns. It's not a giant city. It's just it's a town. It's like 5 miles across. And the mountains are literally right here. And it's got a lot of cool stuff here, you know. A lot of national inventions were made here. AeroGrow, aeroponics system. The universities here. The first Buddhist-inspired universities here. This is the capital of Buddhism in America. First Buddhist, you know, teacher was here. It's the greatest cycling city. You know, lots of athletes. Celestial seasonings. Lots of smart people come here. You know, IBM, National Center of Atmospheric Research, NASA's National Bureau of Standards. It's a cool place with lots of like friendly, smart, educated people. You know, you're not going to be surrounded by a bunch of dumbasses. But if you're one of these like bigoted, ignorant people who like to have a problem with somebody just because they're alternative, then you're not going to like Boulder. You know, so maybe you belong in Denver. So that's my idea about that. But if you're like my subscriber did, and you watch my videos, you should live in Boulder. Yeah, in your car. There's lots of people living in vans in Boulder, all over. My neighborhood especially. They're everywhere. Like every block, you've got a couple of big old RVs. There's this guy living in an RV for a whole year, a big Winnebago RV, and in a big old supermarket parking lot for over a year. Nobody fucks with him. He moves it around every once in a while. Yeah. But I heard there's a law in Boulder that says you're not allowed to sleep in your car overnight. But then I heard 20 years ago somebody said that you were allowed to, but yeah, I don't think the cops enforce it because I see people hanging out in their RVs and stuff. So, okay, peace out.